Coming up on Sports Paws, the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team had a big weekend at home against Harvard and Dartmouth.
Akron Tumbling preseason rankings have come out to see where the Bobcats stand.
The men's basketball beat reporters Keenan Mills and Keith Savage will join us from some of the top duos in the MAC.
All this and more coming up right now on Sports Paws.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. I'm Connor Core, and joining me tonight is Olivia Gruber for her first time on desk. Olivia, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. Let's get this started.
Yeah, we start on the ice tonight. On Friday, the then number 7 Bobcats took on Harvard after winning the Connecticut Ice Tournament last weekend. Now, last time Harvard and Quinnipiac went up against each other, it was a 6-0 win in Harvard. Vinny Duplessis got the shutout in that game. He'll also get the nod tonight in the battle against the Crimson. Midway through the first period, it's going to be Davis Pennington wide open in front of the crease. He's going to find the back of the net. 1-0 Bobcats. You see all the white and student second. Great energy to be around. Early in the second, same score, Harvard's Ryan Healy takes a shot from the blue line, but Vinny Duplessis cleans it up right there. 1-0 Bobcats. Late in the second, Christophe Tellier, he'll get the second goal of the game. A little bit of confusion. Reminds me a little bit of last year's semifinal, regional final against Ohio State. Heading into the third period, to Marek Hayduk finds the back net to cut the lead in half. Harvard's going to try to get one last push before the final buzzer, but Vinny Duplessis stands on his head. Final score is going to be 2-1. Quinnipiac gets the advantage over Harvard, sweeping them on the season series.
The team then took on Dartmouth Saturday for the first time since losing to them in a shootout earlier this season. Dartmouth Big Green come into Hamden to take on the Bobcats for the second time this season. After looking to rebound with a win after the November 3rd shootout loss in Hanover. Going to the first period, action starts right away as Mason Marcellus is able to make an incredible pass from his knees to Colin Graff, who puts it home. Two minutes later, the puck finds Davis Pennington's stick as Mason Marcellus finds the back of the net after a pass from him.
Yeah, great effort by Marcellus there. One of the top goal scorers as a freshman.
Trueler crosses to Jacob Quillen, but Sam Lipkin capitalizes on the loose puck to find the middle of the crease. Bobcats go into the first intermission very happy. Second period, where neither team was able to find the back of the net until the final 5 minutes of the quarter. Travis Treelor finds a beautiful setup pass as the lead continues to increase.
Yeah, Bobcats has been struggling on the power play this season. Get the goal there, like you said, a little tic-tac-toe action on that goal.
Headed into the third period, Dartmouth on the power play trying to get something to go, as they do. Luke Hames, ECAC Forward of the Week, cuts the lead down to 3.
Yeah, Reed Cashman pulling a page out of Rand Pecknold's book, pulling the goal with like almost 12 minutes remaining in the third.
Bobcats in the waning minutes with Jacob Quillen entering into the score sheet, with a goal of his own, and that will be all of it. Quinnipiac wins 5-1 against Dartmouth. Graff and Quillen both score a goal. After a generous donation, the ice hockey teams open their new locker rooms this weekend. Q30's Andrew Reynolds has more.
For 30 years, Rand Pecknold has been a cornerstone of the success of the Quinnipiac Bobcats, and now it is forever enshrined in this brand new lounge that was unveiled on Saturday here at the M&T Bank Arena. It only took 10 seconds into overtime of the 2023 National Championship game for Rand Pecknold to cement his legacy among the greatest ice hockey coaches of all time. But that was never a question in Hamden, Connecticut. Quinnipiac alumni from the class of 1984, Jeff Kincaid, who played on the team all 4 years of his college career, gave the single largest philanthropic gift in the history of Quinnipiac athletics.
So this donation is going to help them bring those facilities, up to speed, up to current levels that other schools are doing, and they could not turn down the opportunity to play for the Bobcats.
Rand Pecknold and his players alike, newer and veterans, are all excited to finally use the new and updated facilities.
It's beautiful. In the world of recruiting right now, like you gotta keep pace with the big boys, and we did a really good job with it, and it's going to help us a lot in the recruiting world.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Obviously, it's just my first year, but I got spoiled right off the bat. So I got the video of last year playing, a bunch of stuff going on. So it's fun. I think that it's a lot better than the old one, that's for sure.
Rand's wife, Nikki, is also listed in the named of the new suite, and he says that she is the reason why he is so successful to this day.
She's not on the roster, but she's running the show, let's be honest. No, she's been great all throughout, the whole time we've been together, which is a long time. I couldn't have the success that I have without her.
For Q30 Sports, I'm Andrew Reynolds.
One of the Bobcats took home an ECAC Hockey Award this week. Davis Pennington takes home the ECAC Hockey Defender of the Week after a 1-goal, 1-assist weekend. It was Pennington's second weekly award of the season and his first since the season's opening week. Pennington had 5 shots on goal and found the back of the net against Harvard. He was also a +2 across both games. Pennington and the Bobcats traveled to upstate New York this weekend to take on St. Lawrence and Clarkson. ECAC standings have arrived. Let's take a look at where the Bobcats stand. Quinnipiac stands at number 1 after the weekend sweep of Dartmouth and Harvard and Dartmouth. Clarkson drops down to the number 4 spot as Cornell takes over the number 2 spot as Colgate moves up to the number 3. Union and Brown stay at 5 and 6. Yale moves up 3 spots to 7 and Harvard moves up 2 spots to take over at number 8. Let's see where the Bobcats stand in this week's USCHO polls. Bobcats move up 2 spots from number 7 to number 5 after sweeping the weekend against Harvard and Dartmouth. Boston College, North Dakota, Boston University, and Wisconsin remain in their respective spots at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Denver and Maine moved down 1 spot to 5 and 6, and Minnesota moved up 1 in the number 8 spot. We have some Bobcats on the National Rookie of the Year watch list. Let's see where they are. Men's ice hockey forwards Andon Serbone and Mason Marcellus make the Tim Taylor Award watch list. Serbone has 6 goals and 11 assists with a +10 on the year. Marcellus has 12 goals and 10 assists with a +23 on the year. On the women's side, forward Kaylin LaMarche made the Rookie of the Year watch list. She has 8 goals and 20 assists with a +17 on the year.
Now, LaMarche and the women's ice hockey team were also watching losses stack on top of each other before taking on Princeton this past weekend. Now, coming in this weekend, 4-game losing streak for the Bobcats, hosting Princeton at the M&T Bank Arena. Last time they played 6-5 overtime win at Hobie Bank Arena. To get us started, Sophie Urban, first goal of the year, couldn't come at a better time. Opens up the scoring for the Bobcats, 1-0 Quinnipiac. Heading into the second, Kate Riley gets the puck along the boards, finds Kayla Marsh on the opposite side. She'll lay it off for Mila Bod, and Kate Riley is going to start and finish. Second goal for the Bobcats. We're going to see another look, a little more up close and personal, right next to the goal. Kate Riley's going to fire it home. You expect that from her at this point in her graduate season. But if you thought this goal was nice, take a look at this one. Kendall Cooper make the Princeton defenders a complete 180, and she'll go bar down for that third goal of the game. We're going to get another look once again. Try not to embarrass this Princeton defender too much, but does just a complete 180 and goes right over the blocker side shoulder of that Princeton goalkeeper. Bobcats lead 3-0. But you know Princeton, they're not going to go down without a fight. Into the third period, the pucks eventually find Sarah Paul after initial shot on goal right in front of the crease. No shutout today for Logan Andrews. Princeton cuts the lead down to 2, but it'll just be too little, too late. Quinnipiac gets the win, 3-1. Like we mentioned, ending that 4-game losing streak that they've been suffering the last 2 weekends. Logan Andrews, 21 saves on the day, and like we mentioned, Sophie Urban, a goal with 2 shots on goal. After snapping that 4-game losing streak and other games around the ECAC taking place, here are the most updated standings. Despite getting 3-1 win over Princeton, the Bobcats remain at the number 5 spot in the conference. There is no movement from the top 4 teams in the conference as Colgate continues to just run the table with 46 points. Next weekend, Quinnipiac will face off against Clarkson and St. Lawrence at home for the final weekend of the regular season. Clarkson and St. Lawrence are the 2nd and 3rd seed in the conference, respectively. Now looking at the national rankings, let's take a look at the USCHO women's poll. Now, there's virtually no movement in the polls from last weekend. Once again, the Ohio State Buckeyes remain at the top of the polls. They also get all 21st place votes for the 5th consecutive week. The Bobcats stay at number 9 nationally. Clarkson leapfrogged over Colgate from 4-3. The Raiders lost the weekend to both the Golden Knights and the St. Lawrence Saints. The Saints also moved up one spot from 8-7 after sweeping the weekend against Cornell and Colgate. And we've got to take a break here on Sports Pops. When we come back, men's basketball looked to stay flaming hot in the MAC. We'll see how they did against Manhattan Canisius this past weekend. Maybe see some highlight plays.
So did the women's team, Connor. They looked to snap their losing streak against Marist and Ryder. We will be back after this.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. What? My. Oh.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us. The NCAA season opens up this weekend. Let's take a look at the preseason polls. Now, the head coach Marianne Powers and her team came in at the third in the preseason coaches poll. The Bobcats earned 3 first-place votes, tying them with second-place Oregon. The Ducks are second in the polls, just to last year's national champion Baylor, receiving the other 36 of the 40 possible first-place votes. Quinnipiac will travel west to face off against the Ducks and the Azusa Pacific Cougars in the middle of their season. Bobcats open up their season on the road in Baltimore this Saturday at Morgan State. Now, taking off the mats, but staying on the hardwood, the Quinnipiac men's basketball team took a short trip down to Manhattan to face off against the Jaspers. Now, the top team in the MAC keeps on winning. Quinnipiac defeated Manhattan 77-71. Leading the way once again was graduate student Matt Blanc with 20 points. That's Blanc's 9th 20-point game this season. He had 11 in the previous 2 seasons combined. Sophomore Amari Tice had 16 points. That's good for his 15th double-digit scoring day this season. Savion Lewis obviously continued to pile up assist stats with 8 in the win. Now, coming back home on Sunday, the Bobcats took on the Canisius Golden Griffins. The Bobcats' only conference loss this season came against the Griffs. Like we mentioned, Quinnipiac's lone loss in the MAC this year comes against Canisius head coach Tom Pecora, looking to get their revenge at home this past Sunday. To start off the game, it's not going to take long. Amari Tice is going to get the steal. He's going to, what he's going to do? In transition, he's going to slam it home. 2-0, 30 seconds in. Can't leave Doug Young open. He's going to step into that. You know what he's going to do. He's also going to drain that. Now with Amari Tice is going to drive in with the left. He's going to go up high and down hard against that Canisius Golden Griffins defender. We're going to get a look at that. Just please have some sympathy for that defender. Like, come on, he's still got a lot of game to play left. It's going to be Matt Blanc in transition. He's going to drive in and kick it out to Tice. He's going to go from behind the arc, and he's going to drain it down. At that point, 37-23, just under the 4-minute timeout. Blanc's getting a 3 of his own in the corner. He's going to give it a little look down to the Canisius bench, make sure he knows that he's there. Heading into the second half, Bobcats have winning big. Blanc's going to make another 3, gives a little whirlwind action as well. It's going to get Arian Lewis. Doesn't play a lot, but when he does, he makes shots like this. The step back three right in the defender's eye. 81-27, just over 5 minutes remaining. Quinnipiac's eventually going to get the win, and head coach Tom McCord is going to win the game 88-63. Bobcats are now 10-1 in MAC play and are going to be facing up against the number 4 St. Peter's on Thursday. Now, following the dominant win against Canisius, Q30's Keenan Mills takes a look under the hood to see what has made
first season as the Quinnipiac head coach, and he has an electric squad, finding himself in the spotlight. But he'll tell you a lot of the reason is the guys along the bench and his assistant coaches.
Look, you're only as good as the people that surround you, and they're doing a great job, an incredibly great job. And I give them great responsibility, and I give them great freedom.
Assistant coaches like Sean Morris and Bradley Jacks, they don't just sit on the bench and observe. They contribute to both sides of the basketball. But their impact goes much further than the court. It creates an environment for transfers to come in and be comfortable.
It made it super easy, actually. I came on a one-day visit, and I had time to make a decision, but as soon as I came, I automatically just knew this was the place for me. I committed on the visit.
Quinnipiac continued their winning streak with a 25-point emphatic victory against Canisius, the only team that has beaten them in conference. This is a different team than November and December. The 5 starters come out on the court with energy, and there is no drop-off with the bench unit. A lot of it comes down to the assistant coaches and the staff as a whole with the way they know their opponent.
But it's about preparation, and our staff does a tremendous job with that, and we divide the responsibilities in that regard.
The culture of a basketball team is important. When looking at a winning team, it's about composure, competition, but also having fun with each other on and off the court. The head coach is a critical role, but it's also dependent on the assistant coaches to pick up the team's slack and keep the desired culture.
And I just fell in love with the coaching staff, the campus, closer to home, and they just make it so much easier. You know, I love all the coaches, and they welcome you open arms.
The Bobcats look to keep their winning streak on the home court against number 3 seeded St. Peter's. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Keenan Mills.
Thank you, Keenan, as always, for the great insight. Before the next slate of games to take place this weekend, let's get you updated on the latest men's basketball standings. The Bobcats have tightened their grip on first place with a 10-1 conference record. Just below is a 3-horse race for second place: Niagara, Fairfield, and St. Peter's, all with a 7-4 conference record. Rounding out the rest of the standings has the Iona Gales at the 4th seed with first-year head coach Tobin Anderson. The preseason favorite Ryder Bronx have not shown up like everyone expected, with a 5-6 conference record.
Men's basketball beat reporters Keenan Mills and Keith Savage have more on the best duos in the MAC.
Thank you, Olivia and Connor. I'm Keenan Mills. Right next to me is Keith Savage, and we are going over the top 5 duos in the MAC conference for men's basketball. The first one we saw right here today, it was Frank Mitchell and Trey Dinkins for the Canisius Golden Griffins. Keith, Frank Mitchell is a monster. He was standing while the Quinnipiac was shooting free throws. Frank Mitchell was standing just hanging from the net.
Wow. But
they're
struggling 3-8 though in the MAC, not looking the best.
They're both juniors, so I'm thinking it's more of a potential future dynamic duo there in Canisius. Moving on, I'm going to St. Peter's. It's going to be Bashir Mason and Corey Washington. Bashir Mason isn't a player. He's a coach, but it's a dynamic duo there because Bashir Mason, he got in a program, St. Peter's, what do you think of?
I think that March Madness from Elite 8.
Elite 8, but that program has kind of been in shambles.
Yeah.
It's been not great. So Bashir Mason steps in. Corey Washington, he's top 10 in the MAC for scoring, but he only has 6 assists on the year, so got to get some coaching there. Moving on, we're going to have right here, Quinnipiac, the Bobcats in Lender Court. They're home court here. They only have 1 loss in conference, and it's not here. They're undefeated. They only have 1 loss all year here on this home court, and that was to Yale way back in December. So they are dominant on this home court. They love playing it. Paul Otieno, Savion Lewis, Matt Belonk, they've been playing on this court for years. They are very comfortable here. Next, we're going back to Fairfield. We were just there a few days ago. Caleb Fields and Jalen Leach, they're the best guard duo in the league. That's my opinion. They're both top 10 in the MAC scoring in 15.2 points per game. They both are doing that. And then best dynamic duo in the league, that's Savion Lewis and Matt Belonk. Those are my opinions, Keith.
Yeah, that's very easy. I'm going to go right back, though. Ryder, number 5. I'm going to have Mervyn James. Just overall, Mervyn James, the leading scorer, but Corey McKeithen, another guy who's a solid passer on that team. So I have to go with him at number 5. Number 4, I got to go with Iona's dynamic duo, Greg Gordon and Aiden Treadall. 2 good guys. Iona's starting to get better as the season goes by, and that team we really don't want to play once Atlantic City comes around, even though Vitino's gone. Then at St. Peter's, I'm going with the same, but Corey Washington, Latrell Reed, 2 really good scorers over at St. Peter's, who's now 7-4 in the MAC, few games behind. 2, Caleb Fields, Jalen Leach, we saw them at Fairfield not too long ago. Those 2 are really good together.
They are dogs.
They're some of the best scorers, but number 1, It is easy. Matt Blanc and Savion Lewis is the best duo in the MAC. Chasing after the most all-time points in Quinnipiac history for D1, and Savion Lewis single-season assist record. But that's all we have over here, Keenan. This was a great time, and now back to you guys at the desk.
Women's basketball traveled east to Poughkeepsie this weekend to take on the Marist Red Foxes. Fresh off the overtime win, women's basketball looks to make it a 2 in a row against the Rider Broncs. Riders 2-8 in the MAC. Bobcats came back to defeat Marist in overtime 64-62 after slapping their losing streak. Anna Foley scored her first double-double on the weekend, along with Grace LaBarge at 10 points. Women's basketball now takes on Rider at home. Fresh off an overtime win, women's basketball team looks to make it a 2-point-in-a-row winning streak. First quarter, we have Anna Foley, who drains the 3-point pull-up jumper. Bobcats have a 16-11 lead. In the second quarter, we've had Raven Douglas hitting a big 3 from the other wing to give the Bobcats a 27-17 lead. Very next possession, the Bobcats have Ava Seleni at the top of the key to drill the 3. Ryder gets in on the 3-point parade as Michaela Fireball drills the shot at the top of the key. Now Anna Foley knocking the Dirk fadeaway. Third quarter, Grace LaBarge knocks down a right wing 3 to extend to 13 points. Bobcats move, Paige Girardi drills the 4-corner 3. Bobcats move to the fourth quarter as they get a great look on the near wing, Maria Keeley, and bang, she shoots that in and makes it. Ryder isn't finished yet as graduate student Taylor Langan blows past Bree Bowen and finishes inside against Jillian Casey. A little over 3 minutes left. Jessica Schiffer left wide open as she buries a 3. Quinnipiac wins 65-54. Anna Foley with her second double-double of the weekend. After the 2-win weekend, where do the Bobcats stand in the MAC standings? Bobcats stay at number 6. Fairfield remains in sole possession of the first, dominating with a 10-0 conference record. Manhattan and Siena stay at number 2 and 3. Niagara and Kenesha swap places as they stand at 4 and 5. Mount St. Mary's and Marist swap places as well and sit at 7 and 8. Iona stays tied with Rider and St. Peter's at number 9. One women's basketball player took home multiple conference awards after a dominant week. First year, Anna Foley takes home Rookie and Player of the Week awards after her 2-game double-double streak in both games against Marist and Rider this week. Against Marist, Foley recorded single-game career high in both points and rebounds. Foley totaled 42 points and totaled 24 rebounds and 5 steals in 2 games. We need to take another break, but don't go anywhere. A Quinnipiac catcher was named to the national preseason ranking list. We'll see who that was, where he finished.
Yeah, baseball is just around the corner. Always good to see some preseason rankings. Plus, we've got some of the top plays of the night. Olivia, we got so many options. Hard to cut down to just 5, but we'll be right back after.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihavepreddiabetes.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping.
maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Let's hit it right next to the courts. Men's tennis took on the Temple Owls in North Haven on Friday afternoon. Bobcats fell to the Owls 5-2, dropping 1 and 3 on the season. Daniel Villek was the only Bobcat to win in a singles match, defeating Temple's Dante Russo in straight sets. Bobcats also won the doubles point 2 matches to 1. But the Owls won 5 straight singles match to claim the win. Bobcats took on St. Michael's College on Saturday, looking to bounce back. Bobcats swept the Purple Knights 7-0. Bobcats win all of their matches in both singles and doubles. Daniel Villek and Shara Sood are 4-1 as double teams so far this season. Villek moved to 3-1 in singles this season. The win marked Quinnipiac's first sweep victory of the season.
Serving up some other news, the women's tennis team was in action against the University of Massachusetts. The Bobcats ended up dropping the match against UMass 5-2 this past Saturday. The 2 wins came from single and doubles matches. In singles, first years Caitlin Flower and Ella Lewis won their singles matches in 3 sets. Flower teamed up with a third first-year Carolyn Schulzen in doubles to win their matches in 7-5. Quinnipiac loses their second game out of 3 played. They will also look to get back in the win column this Wednesday against UConn. With the baseball season starting in just a couple weeks, the Bobcats' backstopper is getting some recognition. Senior catcher Keegan O'Connor has been ranked as a number 38th catcher in the country by Division1Baseball.com. For reference, there are currently 300 Division I baseball programs across the entire country. Last season, O'Connor received a first-team All-MAC selection as a catcher, posting a .342 batting average. He hit 13 home runs and drove in 60 RBIs. O'Connor will lead the Bobcats along with 15 other seniors and graduate students starting next Friday at Liberty. Bobcats were rewriting record books and had some personal bests at the Scarletland Open this past weekend. Highlighted by sophomore pole vaulter Erin Brennan, the Wallingford native broke the record with a mark of 3.55 meters, whose record did she break? Her very own that she set in her first year in 2023 MAC Championships. Nyaja Daly also ran the fastest 60-meter sprint in the MAC that clocked in at 7.61 seconds. That record was good for a third-place finish overall. 9 other Bobcats recorded a season-best finish in long jumping and 4x400 relay. Now, Olivia, do you know what time it is?
Is it time for dinner, Connor?
No, that was about, I'd say, 4 hours ago. It's time for top 5 plays. Let's get right into it. Starting at number 5, we're going to go to women's basketball. First-year Anna Foley catches the ball by the free throw line, gives a little Dirk Nowitzki fader. Got to pull out some Hall of Fame moves.
As we head to the ice for play number 4, Colin Graff makes the pass to Jacob Quillen, who sends it straight to Travis Treelor over the shoulder of a Dartmouth player.
Play number 3, staying on the ice, but for the women's team, we talked about it earlier, we talked about it again. Kendall Cooper making her defender look silly, going over the blocker's side, gets the goal.
Play number 2, we're coming back to men's ice hockey. Mason Marcellus intercepts Dartmouth's pass, gets slammed into the boards, and still dishes the pass to Colin Graff for the goal. Let's take a look at this again, Connor. Marcellus gets knocked down to the ground, looks for Graff, who gets a clean look at the net and shoots it on in there.
Yeah, it was a good goal, but I don't think there's any question about what play was going to be number 1. Men's basketball, Amari Tice gets the ball from three-point line. Lord have mercy. We mentioned it earlier. Please have some sympathy on this Canisius defender. The rim's probably still rocking from that. I'll be honest with you. Bobcats get the win.
What a week in Quinnipiac sports, Connor, but sadly that is all the time we have.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in tonight, and thank you to all the producers and staff working so hard behind the scenes to make this very show possible. Follow us on social media at Q30 Television and Q30 Sports, and check out our online at Q30TV.com. I'm Connor Corey. She's Olivia Gruber. Good night, Bobcats.